I am one of your constituents, but I don't think you really exist. Welcome to Texas Progressive Time, a show for the practical and pragmatic, not the extremists. My name is Neil Durrance. Last week I told you how to move our country forward as a responsible pragmatist. You should start by knowing the name and, as much as you can, research about any elected official, state, county, or city. The best way to start is to go to a meeting, rally, town hall, or any gathering and meet the candidate or office holder in person, if that's possible. I live in a congressional district that has a slight small finger that pokes into Denton County and right back out all the way to Amarillo, some 350 to 400 miles away. Now, I know most red-blooded Americans would think that a congressman will run the roads, make the drive, find a friend who has an airplane, and reach out to all of his constituents to make sure he gets every vote possible. Not Ronny Jackson. Since Jackson's first election in office, he has never darkened the door of a house in Denton County. So sure of his gerrymandered district, Jackson knows he doesn't need a single vote out of Denton County to keep his congressional gravy train going. This is done with yours and my tax dollars flowing to Washington. He likes to go out to rural areas and remind the brainwashed MAGA that he was once considered Trump's doctor. How do I know? In the past years, I have called his office 3 times to inquire when the congressman was going to make his next appearance anywhere south and east of Childress. Yes, I said Childress, because it is not a little more than halfway between Denton and Amarillo, his alleged hometown. Each of the 3 times I have called the congressman's office, I have been told that he is out of the country gathering vital information for upcoming legislation. I call it a junket at taxpayers' expense. Now I know what many of you are thinking. All congressmen take junkets at taxpayers' expense, and I would agree, as they probably do. But a refusal to meet with your constituents is only one of the signs of the systemic problem with gerrymandering that is like a wildfire sweeping over our country. Gerrymandering does not just allow elected congressmen to ignore their voters. It creates a system of identity politics where the people are constantly being told they must vote for and keep in office officials who have no interest in listening to or helping them. How do we know? Ronny Jackson, due to the gerrymandering, can ignore at least 45% of his district because the other 55% will vote for him due to the R being beside his name on the ballot. However, his district is mostly rural. Anybody who knows anything about health care knows that for the last 20 years, rural areas of our country have been the hardest hit with the decline and closing of hospitals and health clinics. Since most of Jackson's districts is rural, if he really cared about people as a doctor or public official, he would be pushing every bill in Congress to see that health care in the rural areas of Texas are the best in the nation. Instead, he voted with the present administration to cut funding for rural health care by $1 trillion, yes, I said trillion, dollars over the next 3 years. Why would anybody cut health care for Americans? Because he can, and never has to worry about losing a vote in his district. This is but one example of the damage caused by gerrymandering wildfire that is sweeping over our nation with the sole goal of grasping or hanging on to power. We, the people, are the ones who suffer. What should we do? Call Ronny Jackson and ask him how he enjoyed his last overseas junket and when he plans to come to your town. I'll bet you can't find him. But you could certainly speak your mind on the voicemail. I think I would start with, I am one of your constituents, but I don't think you really exist. Come over to my house for coffee. Any weekday morning would be fine. If you believe, as I do, that public officials should work for we, the people, and not just for their next all-expense-paid, taxpayer-funded junket, then like and subscribe. I'll see you next week.